There we
There
go.
we go. Hey.
We're on here. There we go. We can see each other better.
All right.
Welcome. Yeah.
We're live. We're live.
All right, hang up the phone. Okay, good.
Already hung it up for you.
Okay.
Hi guys.
Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
How's the weather in Oklahoma?
Freaking hot.
You see the
what kind of language do you
fan
guys
now?
use?
Is that more obvious?
You know, we don't have a lot of filters, so you're gonna have to let us know where our limits are at. You know.
Oh, you're fine.
We we don't have those
In that
filters
case, it's
either.
fucking hot.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're from Missouri originally, Springfield, Missouri area.
Misery.
Nice.
So
Misery.
Yeah, Missouri sits right above Oklahoma. Yeah, I know the place.
yeah, we know the area pretty well, so we understand completely.
So I guess for everybody that's watching or just coming on or hit the play button, they know what's going on. So
Yes.
welcome, guys. My name's Angie. They call me Mama Badger, and this is
I'm Sonny.
Sonny
the
the Badger. And we're doing a dual stream here. It's on Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully, I think, into our group. If not now, eventually it'll go in there as
like
well.
15 minutes from now.
Yeah.
We
So
messed that one up.
welcome. Thank you for coming on for our Saturday Night Live. Didn't you rename our Saturday Night Live?
Badger Night Live. I have
Badger
not
Night
named
Live.
it.
Yeah, I think we got to do something besides Saturday Night Live. Like I said, that we were doing a ride video, and I said we're going to be on there Saturday Night Live, and it's like, no, not that Saturday Night Live.
Right?
So we need to come up with a new name, a new title for that.
Right? Yeah, last week I called it Badger Night Live, so that may end up being what it is. So
Anybody
we'll just
else
have to see.
Has any suggestions?
Well, have them introduce themselves
Yes,
so everybody
so-
knows who we're talking to.
Yes. Okay, so we got the Nuts of Anarchy, NOA for short. So you guys introduced yourselves.
Well, you know, we kind of use like I'm Mr. Nut, she's Mrs. Nut. Interestingly enough, that kind of came along in business years ago. People started calling me Mr. Nut. I don't know why. My name's Edward, and I prefer not to be called Ed or Eddie. So,
Okay.
Mr. Nut just kind of, I think somebody actually said it as a joke, and I took pride in it.
Yeah,
You're like,
a friend of ours
all right.
just started calling him Mr. Nut, and it just became a thing. So now I call him Mr. Nut too. Works out well.
Yeah. You know, I just call her
Of course
ma'am.
you
So,
became- and then you became Mrs. Nut,
I
right?
became Mr. Nut, you know.
That's how it happened with us. Yeah.
I was the Badger, and then when she would come into the dealership, everybody knew me as the Badger, so they didn't know her name.
Right.
So they would call her Mama Badger. And so it just kind of
Yeah.
stuck.
You know, it just sticks. Once they do it, you're like, okay, I guess I'll just go with it.
yeah, we've always had people, what do you call, you know, what do I call your wife? Call her ma'am, or just don't talk to her.
Don't call me. I'm not a man. Never been a man. That's
Oh,
okay.
you've been a man.
I know. That's okay. Mrs. Nut works just fine for me.
Well, that's why, I mean, with the kids too, we came up because they're like, how are the kids doing? So it was just easy, you know, there was baby Badger, bitchy Nut Badger at one
Well, see, when
time.
they used to ask us how the kids were doing, they were talking about me.
No.
And you know, we didn't have kids. Now we've got, you know, people that follow our channel and stuff, they know that we've kind of taken on her nephews
Uh-huh.
in the past 7 months. So we got kids in the house besides me for the first time, and that kind of really sucks. You know, for you guys
Aw.
out there that are like, you know, only children, you know what I'm saying. It sucks. Having little kids in the house.
I'm an only child.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
an only child for 20 years.
Yeah, not anymore.
He's
Yeah.
we try to teach him for how many years now to share things, but it's still hard for him to
Yeah,
do.
get your own damn thing.
Get your own. Exactly. Nice.
Yeah. All right, so you guys, okay, so you guys have a couple of things going on. So
Well,
where do you want to start?
you know, our primary company, NOA Performance, we started that as Nuts of Anarchy Performance and Design, and it's kind of an evolution of our sociological beliefs. And, you know, what we found out is that because we're oddballs sociologically, we are anarchists. Sociologically, we don't believe in the whole man can rule over man type thing. We decided to make it NOA so that we didn't get, we didn't really want to isolate people
Yeah,
and
to
push
be
people
political
away.
and things like that. That's really not what we're trying to do. We're trying to be encompassing rather than excluding. So
Yeah. So we changed the NOA performance and design basically as we started becoming more internationally known. In that particular side of things, I used to own car dealerships in my 20s, all the way into my early 30s. And I left that business to focus on a consulting business within that same industry. And my specialty was basically creating company cultures long before I think that term was ever really popular. Basically taking the personality of the owner or the creator, the founder of the company, the why that person does what they do, and bringing that through the company as a culture where everybody kind of gets on that point from talking points, from attitudes, energy, enthusiasm, belief in the company and things like that. I found that a lot of companies out there, what they do is they market from what I call outside in. They're trying to reach a demographic. So they're putting together stock imagery, they're putting together stock videos, and they're trying to get in the imaginations of the audience they want to attract. And the problem with that is the audience that they want to attract isn't necessarily cohesive with the culture that they have within their company. So they're reaching out with basically stocked branding or inauthentic branding, inauthentic marketing, and they get a hold of an audience, and as that audience starts coming towards their company, they're seeing things that are not what they appeared to be. It's not what originally attracted them. So we started inside out branding, where we get to know what a company is inside, what the heart of the company is, how many of the people actually fit into the heart of the company, how many people actually are on board, who are your A players, and then who's not your A players. And then we create marketing and branding from that point of view out to find the audience that actually connects with you.
Yeah.
And through doing that, you normally end up with a bit smaller audience, but a very high converting audience, an audience that
They're really
is active, engaging, converts, and more than that, they evangelize. And that was always my thing when I started my consulting business, was creating evangelists. Comes from a book by a guy named Guy Kawasaki, who was one of the original Apple software developers or software. His original job was getting developers to create software for Apple Mac computers before they were ever popular. So he created brand evangelists, and to me, companies that are going to really be disruptive, companies that we want to work with, are disruptive companies. They're companies that are very evangelistic about what they do. They have a high belief system in what they do. They don't sell anything. They just simply talk and speak their belief and find the audience and attract the people, the buyers, the clients that naturally gravitate towards them. So that's NOA performance and design.
Yeah. And what about you guys? Are you catering to a certain, industry?
On the motovlog side, we started that because clients were always, well, it's hard. You gotta create, high produced video and high produced content. And we're of the belief that content is this. It doesn't have to be highly produced. It's right. You looking into a camera or writing down words or taking photos and then putting captions on that come from you authentically. It's you putting yourself authentically and sincerely in front of an audience. That's content creation. So we created our motovlog. Basically, that's us.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
One of these days somebody's going to catch us in the middle of a hot conversation. That's not going to be good. But, it's basically us riding our motorcycles, and it's kind of how we think. We love our bikes, and it's where we think. We get out of either together or alone, we get out on our bikes, and we clear our minds. And speaking to the camera has just made it really, really kind of cool because we bring that home with us and remember what we said. Because I don't know about you, Sonny, but I'm like old as shit. So my memory,
not as good as it used to be.
I'll get home, I'll go out there and I'll think of some of the most brilliant things I've ever thought of. And when I get home, I can't think of one of them. So having the camera with me to record it is kind of cool.
So I was listening to you guys talk about that, and I was like, so there is the moto blogging where we get ideas and come up with stuff, and the other place is in the hot tub. We'll get in the hot tub where we can't have no distractions. You can't be on your phone. You can't do anything. You're just chilling in the hot tub and Right? I mean, a lot of ideas and stuff come
I have
from.
lots of ideas about that.
That's lots of ideas. Not all business, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but all
Something happens in the hot tub where business becomes really secondary.
Different content, totally. But anyway,
Different content completely.
Yes.
Hey, we're not.
Now, being that the old man, young woman, that might actually work as a side business. I'm not sure. It's a side business.
but yeah, you're right. When I started the idea of putting a camera on my helmet, that was my thought. Was when I'm riding down the road, I have all these great ideas,
Right.
and I can't. You know what I mean? I can't like put them out there, and then like you said, I forget about them. Right? I'm going to a meeting. I don't have time to jot it down. So after the meeting, I'm like, well, what did I say? Or
Right.
just,
I'm sure I
or
was brilliant.
you know what I mean? Someone pulls out in front of you, and that's instant content, right? You
Yeah,
guys know
did you
exactly
see
what
the
I'm talking
piece
about.
I
I
put
saw
up?
your video. But I mean, it's stuff like that, right? People, especially that don't ride, they don't see those kind of things that
Right.
we see. It's crazy how many people run red lights, how many people swerve all over the road, and you can see they're buried in their cell phone.
Yes, we just had a conversation about that as well.
It's just crazy. So you get to capture all of that as well.
Well, and I was raised in California, and to me, I think everybody who rides motorcycles should go spend. Not that you should spend very much time in California, because
Hey, I was born in California.
She's born in California.
Mom,
I
Dad.
was born and raised in California. She was born and raised in California, but my first 20 years riding on the streets were in California. Lane splitting in Los Angeles. We rode. Freeways were stopped, and you'd ride between the cars at 20, 30 miles per hour, and you had to have a certain amount of perception and watching all the cars to know which cars might do stupid shit. And that seems to be lost today. Or it's different riding in Oklahoma. People kind of expect it and are very passive about it. I'm not real passive about it. I'm kind of a passionate person. And I can be passive if you're threatening me or anything else, but like when she's been riding 2.5 years. And she's become, I think she's put close to 25,000 miles on her, about 30,000 miles on her bikes in 2.5 years. She's put some miles in.
Awesome.
But I'm still like, I'm not going to find another 38-year-old wife. So she's kind of special.
Right. I'm kind of one of a kind here.
Keep her around.
She's kind of
Watch out.
I might have to hang out with people my own age, and that's going to suck.
Well, you're right.
When they threaten her, I get a little nuts.
Yeah.
I get aggressive when something happens with Ange. I mean, if it's a car behind her, I'll slow down and have her go in front of me.
Right.
If somebody pulls over, I'm the one up there that's like you were, that's cursing and threatening.
It has nothing to do with business, but like when she started riding, I wanted her on the freeways, and we got comm systems so that we could talk, and it became really, really. I think it really helped you.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I have a thing where like I ride in the most dangerous part of the lane. If we're on the left-hand lane, she's on the left-hand side. I'm on the right-hand side of the lane between her and any cars, and I'll ride. If cars get too close or something like that, I'll ride right there. To me, that's kind of. I'm old-fashioned. That's a man's place, between you and danger in that. So normally, it only affects me. Every once in a while, somebody will do something stupid in front of her, and dude, I don't think you can be a passionate person and be in the creative industry. I don't think you can be a conceptual person who conceives of ideas out of the air, or goes in and just basically meets with people and then comes up with an entire idea of how their business should work and function to be disruptive and amazing, way above the regular level.
Without being pretty high strung.
Without being a little high strung. Yeah. So when people like, well, you overreacted. It's like, dude, I overreacted. I wake up and I inhale. That I overreact. It's really kind of cool. The alternative to that really sucks. But waking up and inhaling is awesome.
So I'm super jealous of you, Heidi, because you've got the GoPro and you're doing your vlogs now too. So My time's a coming. We actually just got me one, so I've been.
Anything you guys need in that area, let us know. I think we got our video and audio pretty well tight. One of the biggest things is getting a remote control for the cameras.
So that everything starts on.
You can
on
use
you.
You can use 2 cameras. You can use 40 cameras, and that one remote will start them all at the same time. So you don't have to do any of the clapping, and it starts them all exactly on time, and you just line up the videos and cut it as you want it.
Yeah, he made me start all the vlogging. It was never him. And then one day we went out, and I'm like, let's have a talk, like the two of us. And because we used to talk, but he would cut himself out of it completely. And I'm like, I think conversations, especially husband and wife, there are so many people who husband and wife ride, and there's people who love the comm systems, and then we've met tons of like couples that ride that are like, no, I don't want to be attached to him. This is when I have my alone time.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that too.
Yeah.
But, so it really started with him pushing me to do the moto vlogging, and I'm like, I don't know that I'm really that great at this.
She's way cuter than me. I just thought she had a different appeal,
Right?
This just, I guess with a helmet over it, it's not so bad.
It's not that bad. But so the couples thing has been really, I think it's been really good. I think it's worked better than just me kind of jabbering on. But every now and then I do like to just get out there. I do most of the talking, I feel like, because.
Well, it's got your camera, your camera views and everything, and that's why, because our videos are him and I talking. We can both talk, and you can hear us both. But it hasn't, not me. Like if I'm in front all the time, or in back actually, then I can't see him, and him riding and everything. And then there's times that I just take off on the bike myself, and I'm just like, I want to be able to talk. Like I got those ideas and things running through my head.
And then
I like to do that every once in a while. I'll go by myself. I just think, and it's really kind of funny. I'm always surprised when there's an audience for that video, because it's kind of like, without a female's voice, how is this even appealing to you people?
Because a lot of the moto vloggers are dudes.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not trying to be one of those dudes.
I think that there needs to be more women. So I'm excited
There
that you're going to be into that.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. That's my goal.
Besides, maybe the next time he's in a trailer, have somebody to hold a fan on him or something, so he's not just pouring down.
Poor thing.
Dude, what the hell?
Well, so I said I was from Missouri, right? So, you just get these redneck ideas sometimes. And I literally just put out on Facebook, hey, can anybody around, can I get a ride? And I was thinking, okay, he's going to pick me up and he's going to bring me back to the house. I'll get the truck. I'll go get the bike. So while I'm waiting, I'm like looking around to see what ditch I can back up to put the bike in the truck. And so he
was already thinking of other redneck ways. I'm sorry.
He is a pest control guy. And he's like, well, I've got a little enclosed trailer I'm pulling behind me.
Yeah, it's that pesticide and shit in it. Get in there, I'll close it up with no air.
Yep.
And you can just sweat your ass off and breathe pesticides and diesel fumes all the way home. That was a great idea.
It was.
Fantastic.
So when he gets there, he's like, can you fit it in there? And I'm looking and I'm like, well, if I fold up the floorboards, I'm not going to be able to put the kickstand down. And I'm like, do you have any straps? He's like, yeah, I got straps. I'm like, all right, well, where do I tie the straps to? And he's like, well, I don't have to tie places. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I already had the bike in there. I was like, dude, if you're cool with this, I will just ride the bike and hold it up on the way home.
That's such a man thing to do.
Yeah, I'm like this redheaded kid with pink skin. I get heat stroke and shit. I can't do that.
Yeah,
but I watched that video and I wanted to shut it off because it was just like watching torture.
It was painful.
Yeah.
But you couldn't. Because it's like, I'm watching torture, but this dude is doing it to himself.
It's like watching that car wreck happen. You're like,
talk about putting your company culture out there. This guy will go through anything. I mean, man.
He's like, text me if you need me to pull over.
And you did it one time.
And so at one point we stopped about halfway home in a Walmart parking lot and just to open the doors. I didn't get off the bike, but there was just zero airflow.
Air movement. That's awful. I can't even wear a helmet without airflow. I mean, that
it was pitch dark, no airflow, and the diesel fumes. So I had him pull over. We sat for probably 5 minutes, and then he brought me on back. But
I mean, we got like a 24-foot trailer here in the back for our bikes because we have 5 bikes, and but they go in there by themselves.
Yeah.
And we tie those
You're not
suckers
sitting back
down.
there riding them like
No.
So one of the
Your
biggest
history.
challenges
Oh.
was
Call me old-fashioned and spoiled or something.
Right.
Maybe newfangled and spoiled. But
I
I believe that you put the bike back there, you tie that sucker down, and I mean, like, you know, it can take the heat. But that was a great video.
see. So that was my biggest challenge is I didn't know what was coming up. So when he would go around the corner, it would just be like, oh shit. And
Yeah.
just hold the bike, right? You're talking about a 600-pound bike flopping from side to side, and you don't know when you're turning. That was probably the biggest challenge.
So
You
I
need to have your phone and your map up so you could see where the curves.
Right? I didn't even think about
you
that.
could have.
Yeah, leave it to her.
That's why I like a map on my screen actually, because I can plan for my curves and my turns.
But I probably couldn't have recorded because I was recording on my phone with the light.
That's
So, I mean,
true.
you know,
Well, that's more
content
important.
or safety. I mean,
Angie, where were you with the camera? I mean, really, with the map.
I know.
Yeah. You wouldn't be getting back there. She's not getting back there.
No.
I wouldn't be getting back
No.
there, dude. You'd be on your own. I'm right
I
on top of the damn trailer, but I'm not right.
I rode that day, so I was out on the bike riding to some business appointments, and it was hot as balls. I mean, it was crazy hot, and to know that that's what he was doing, yeah.
Well, we've hit that stage in Oklahoma where the weather's like 90 some odd degrees, 94, 95 degrees, but high
It's
humidity.
still 94 outside right
So it's
now.
like you walk out and you walk into that wall of wet, moist air.
Yeah, you can feel
completely
it.
different.
So Karen said one time you were a little high on fumes and you
Well, you know,
Yeah.
he may have been high on a couple of other things. You really can't blame him for that.
He was high the rest of the night because when he
Sure.
Yeah.
when I got home and he told me, and just
I think that's when you can excuse, you know,
The giggles.
yeah, randomly, he's like just starts laughing. I mean, and that happened the rest of the night. He just was like, I can't believe I did that.
it literally
I can't believe-
it took me back to my childhood or something I would have done at 18, 19 years old. I was like, you know, I was that guy. Oh, you can do it. Or somebody said you
well,
couldn't
I
do
mean,
it.
How dare you?
Yeah, I
in
can.
my 20s, you know, I completely know in my 20s, yeah. And in my 30s, even 40s. But something happened around like 56. Not sure what it was. And I started saying, maybe I can't. You know?
Just maybe.
Yeah.
Not for sure, but maybe.
Well, when I
sometimes
say hi,
I can, and then,
hi
yeah.
to those that are out there watching. Hi, Karen. Hi, sweetie. I didn't say hi to you.
Mr. GRD, Katina, Carol.
Cat's on here. Oh, what did Carol say here?
The best thing was putting the camera on your helmet. She loves the rides you guys take.
All right. Michael, we got Michael on here.
He has a special cover for his iPad so he can take notes in the hot.
In the hot tub?
Well, dude, it's not that important.
Hey, Michael, can you send us those notes? Something tells me they're not all about business.
They're my drawings.
Yeah, drawings. Gotta be some snapshots in there somewhere.
Parents on here. Hey, Granny Mom, Grandpa Badger. So we got Carol on here. Happy Saturday, Sonny and Momma. All right.
So I was watching your video from today, which I think you shot yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
So as I'm listening to you talk, as I said, I grew up in Missouri, so you're exactly right. We had, you know, I couldn't wait to turn 16. That was
Right.
like, you know, 16 years old. The day I turned 16, I took mom and dad's car out, and they're like, "Don't you dare go to Springfield," and I went to Springfield.
Of course. We
But-
started building my first car when I was like 14 and a half. It was a 56 Chevy. We found the body somewhere, and it was a 1.5-year project to be ready when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and that's how the kids around, you know, one of the things that I've always wondered, because to me, drivers don't drive. And I, kind of like I said in the video, the whole distracted driving thing, I think is a bullshit argument. We've always been distracted drivers.
Mhm.
We used to read books driving to work. We used to commute from our hometown in northern LA County to our offices in West Los Angeles. It was only 50 miles, but it was a 3-hour commute. So you read books, you did things, but you drove first. and you kind of trained yourself, and you loved driving. It wasn't about the distraction as much as it was about driving. Today, people seem to be the driving secondary. Like they're driving because they have to.
Well, like I said, you get in the car and this is your office space now.
Right.
Like I make phone calls and this is the first thing I do rather than thinking about where I'm going and how I get there and how, oh no, I need to go that way. Just kidding.
Right.
Yeah, you told me people weren't eating in their cars.
Well, my first accident, I was 16. I was in Dad's farm truck. It was like midnight, 1 o'clock. And I dropped a cigarette in the floorboard and was trying to get it, and I ended up in a freaking niche. I drove it home, bent A-frame and all. Dad still,
you know, we love to drive, and my comment on that today was more of through environmentalism or guilt or whatever, people don't love their cars, or, you know. And again, this isn't everybody. This is just a certain portion of the population that drives out of necessity. They don't drive because they love it. And I think when we were younger, more people drove because they loved it. Cars were different then. Car culture was different. Motorcycle culture was different. People had a passion for what they rode and what they drove, wrenching on it themselves and doing their own thing. And it became kind of a part of your own identity, but driving it well and riding it well was significantly important to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love it. I have old vehicles. My truck's 25 years old with almost 300,000 miles on it. The Jeep, we bought her a new Jeep last year. It was 32 years old. You know, I love that older stuff. And
you know, it's funny. I'm
breathing life into it.
I'm a geek, so all my stuff, I love stuff, but I love new stuff. I
To
traded
the
my
yeah.
2018 CVO Street Glide for the 2019 because I wanted Apple CarPlay.
Right.
You know, I mean, I love the look of old stuff. There's a company here in Tulsa.
It's called Brand New
New Muscle Cars.
So they take the old style body and all the things, and they put all the new engine, all the new technology, suspension
Oh,
things
wow.
in it. So it's super cool stuff.
It's really cool.
It's like
I mean,
a
to me, that
retro
is
mod.
yeah, that's my love. I mean, I would love to have my 69.5 Z28, but I want air conditioning, and I want the new efficient motor with the fuel injection system. You know, I want the new, you know, horsepower is completely different today than it was when we were younger. It's everything's more efficient. So I love that aspect of things, but I love what I drive, but I love the new stuff. I'm a little weird that way. You know,
I would like to do that in the motorcycle world. I would like to do resto mods, take the old bikes and mod them to all the new technology. I think that would be really cool because I love the old look and the fact that you can say, hey, I have a 1969, blah blah blah.
But nobody wants to ride that uncomfortable bike with that small little engine and all the things. A lot of people love riding.
More
comfortable ride.
That would be that to me. I think I've talked about it a few times. I'm surprised it isn't being done because they're doing it in the hot rod industry. So I'm surprised they're not doing it in the bike industry.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure it's coming. There's been some retro work in the, you know, in the industry. People looking towards retro looks in the motorcycles and stuff to bring back that look, but put the modern twists on it, the modern designs on it. You know, my heart is a designer. I love designing, and I kind of look at everything we do as a design to a certain degree. But I love these design cultures where, you know, you can kind of just see the heart of the designer. It's one of the reasons I love Apple. I love Apple because Johnny Ive was one of my heroes in design. As an industrial designer, he's phenomenal. I love Harley because of all of the little aspects that they put in their designs. You just know the culture of the company, so you know no matter what they do, there's going to be a consistency in that design that you can work from as, you know, as you want to personalize it your own way. What is Michael saying? I think it's simply our age. We appreciate what we have.
What are you saying, Michael? We're old?
Yes.
What exactly are you saying, Michael? Get back in the hot tub. So, speaking of technology, this week, one of the news things is there was a kid from Florida. I don't know if you guys have seen this. There was a kid from Florida that rode the live wire to Sturgis.
Yeah.
From Florida to Sturgis. I think his name is Jesse. I'd have to look it up to be for sure. What do you guys think of the live wire?
I love the live wire. wire. I totally, if I didn't love my Fat Bob so much, I totally would have traded in my Fat Bob for a live wire. I've ridden it. We did a couple of test rides. I did, and it's an amazing bike.
We did
Have you
individual
ridden one?
rides
Have you
and then we
ridden
did a
one?
couples ride.
Yes, yeah, we did.
It
We
was
did a
so
demo
much
ride
fun.
video.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
it was
bike has
fun.
its place. I love what Harley did with the bike. It was one of the live wire videos where the designers of the live wire were speaking of the core of the design of that bike and where they focused their design on putting that motor, kind of like, again, because Harley Davidson focuses on putting that V twin kind of in a jeweled mount, putting that motor someplace you could see it, and then doing what they did around the battery casing so that aesthetically it had a certain look to it. But I didn't want to like the live wire. I wanted to hate that damn bike. I really did. And I got on it, and I had more fun.
It's so much
Yeah.
fun.
It's
And then
fun.
we rode them together. We did a couples ride.
Yeah, kind of through our downtown Tulsa area and whatever. And we got so much attention, so many looks, and the bike just responds, and it's just so
And it
much.
sounds
And the
like a
battery
Tron
would
bike.
not Yeah. The Tron
Around
bike.
town, that battery would not go down. I don't know what they keep advertising what the range is on it, but if you got that thing in sport mode and you're riding around a city, we rode for 90 minutes and our battery life did not change.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Well,
we brought it back to the dealership with the same life on it that we left with, basically from that regeneration when you go to, when you're decelerating. But no, I think Harley did an amazing job on that bike, and I'm super proud that they made it because of our relationship with Harley dealers, in our consulting gig, our relationship with Harley accessory makers. They did this really, I think they did it right, and they did it Harley's way without bowing to a lot of bullshit pressure. But in the end, the bike really felt solid. It was really a great motorcycle.
Yeah. It's hard to do that when you're messing with it.
I know. I'm gonna see if I can't find Tron.
So you guys work with a lot of dealerships. I've worked at a couple dealerships. What do you guys think of? So there's two different. What do I want to say? There's basically two different styles of dealerships. There's the big conglomerate dealerships where they own 4, 5, 6 of them. A lot of them own like multiple car dealerships and so on. And then there's like your family-owned historical dealerships. And the culture is different in both places. Me personally, I love those family-owned just because, I mean, when you go in, you can see like the history within there. And I went from a dealership that was small and family-owned to one of the big corporate styles, and just some of the culture was lost. What do you guys see in that?
It's what's interesting is, those aren't the only two styles of dealerships. There's also the dealerships that are sales dealerships, the dealerships that are parts, and the dealerships that are service dealerships, where their focus is in one area of the business more than it is on the business in its entirety. There are a lot of really great sales dealerships out there that do not do so well in service and in parts because they just kind of let those go, or motor clothes, they just kind of let those departments go. And one of the problems that you get in that is you walk into the dealership, your sales department are very enthusiastic, they're very upbeat, they're very on point, they're firing on all cylinders is the way I like to put it. But you walk into service and they're depressed. You walk into parts and you ask, how are you doing today? Just waiting for 6:30. I hate hearing that shit when I'm in a Harley Davidson dealership. This is a Harley Davidson dealership. This is working in heaven, for Christ's sake. You're working around the coolest shit on the planet. And if you're not creating your own brand and your own value where you can go to the manager and say, hey, look, I'll take this department to the next level. I'll create this type of profit and I want this piece of it, or I'll go somewhere else. If you're allowing yourself to not be an entrepreneur within that business, your own brand within that business, you need to get another damn job. If you're miserable working at a Harley Davidson dealership, I feel really, really sorry for you. All I got to do is be around them all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, we have noticed the difference, though. I mean, just in the general, like your
yeah.
point of a corporate store to family-owned, we've worked with and visited tons of stores in Texas, especially, and you can definitely see. You walk in and you can feel the difference almost. It's really interesting.
Well, but then you have dealerships like Moonshine Harley Davidson, and they just bought Fort Benning Harley Davidson, and I think they own 2 or 3 other stores. And they actually have a certain culture in every store depending on who is the general manager of the stores. So when you go into Moonshine, they're very much a performance dealership, but they're also a sales dealership. They got a great parts department. They're like walking in Disneyland of Harley Davidson dealerships. They are firing on all cylinders in all departments. So when they go and they pick up another dealership, they take that culture and they put it in that dealership where mom and pop may have died a few years ago, and now it's the daughter or the son who's inherited the store, and they don't have the same passion for the brand that mom and dad did.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times those family stores lose their passion as they age, or as it goes through the family lineages, it's inherited, and the kids don't have the same enthusiasm for the brand. They didn't have to fight as hard, as mom did running the store in the 50s and 60s during hard times, 70s during the the AMC period or whatever. So it's just described the largest dealership in Australia.
The enthusiasm. That's
Dude,
the worst.
That sucks because Australia has some very, very, very good dealerships. They have some envious performance shops in Australia. They are pumping out some really, really, really cool products for Softails. I love working with. We work with a couple of accessory makers in Australia, and they're doing some really, really, really cool stuff. Stuff happening in Germany and in Belgium is really fantastic. And again, we're Harley people. I know that you got an audience that's more motorcycle people. We're Harley.
We're probably 90% Harley.
Harley, I would say that's really true. Looking at what I've seen from.
Because the page originally was not the Badgers and the Biker Lifestyle. It was Harley Davidson and the Biker Lifestyle.
Yeah.
When I started it, when I worked at Harley.
Okay, so I mean, and now we've got some of those companies coming to the United States, which is really, really, really cool. Dublin, they're doing fantastic things in the United Kingdom. Those are the dealerships that we're tapping into and adding value without them being our clients, because we want to get something from them. They're doing cool things, and you want to talk about the price of motorcycles? They're selling these things with huge, huge, huge tariffs on them, and they're still selling every bike they can get their hands on. So I love what they're doing there, and some dealerships are bringing that to the United States. That same brand within a brand, like Thunderbike, Harley Davidson, and some of those great, great, great companies that have done cool things. And I'm very excited about that. On your question on the corporate stores, there are those corporate stores where the owner's absent, and it's like an investment where he's got investors, and that's how he's making his living. And that always sucks. And we got one of those here in Tulsa, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we have one of each, in all honesty. It's interesting.
It's kind of funny. I love my Harley Davidson dealership here for a lot of reasons. There's some really good people. We really love the people there. But they're one of those dealerships that isn't firing on all points. Love them. I know they're going to probably see this, but we love you guys. But to me, there's dealerships all around us that are really doing cool things when it comes to market disruption. And I don't know if you guys were on Harley's call a couple of weeks ago. There's some changes coming down that these guys are going to have to plug into and get used to and innovate around. That's kind of what we're here for. We're here to help. One of our things is really kind of predicting where this is going to go 2 years down the road and making sure you're there.
Yeah, we listened to. I listened to part of it anyway, but yeah, I'm curious to see what changes come. They need some changes for sure. I like the cut in production.
They needed to cut production for sure. They're producing too many.
They needed to quit just throwing shit against the wall and hoping it would stick. That was kind of the old model. Let's throw this against the wall and this against the wall. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah. I do like the fact that even while doing that, they were not able to get their design department to go, in my opinion, off key or off brand. The Fat Bob suffered from that. The new 2018 Plus Fat Bob. Some people suffered accepting the square headlight or the rectangular headlight and stuff, but the bikes turned out to be such a great performing motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah, don't talk about her Fat Bob.
I love my Fat Bob.
Hey there, you love your Fat Bob.
So that bike's being accepted. As a matter of fact, it's being it's very much creating its own little cult culture. Within things where people really love that bike. The performance on it for a cruiser is amazing.
Well, and it'll be that, you know, the FXR of its time. You know, it's going to have its own little cult following.
You know, actually, I think the FXDR is going to become the FXR in time. I think people are going to be really sad that we didn't support that motorcycle as a community, and they killed it. And again, I don't know, Michael, you might be able to say this since you're typing online and you seem to be talking fast. I know in Australia, the FXDR, they've done some really cool things with that motorcycle, and it's a badass bike in Australia, Europe, on the continent, and in the UK.
I thought it was a cool bike, but I didn't not like the V-Rod. So in fact, I want one in my garage just to have one because they're not going to be around.
Right.
You know, and that was a really cool bike. It wasn't the typical Harley, which is why people didn't buy it. But I mean, I've ridden a bunch of them, and they're a great performing.
They're a great bike. Yeah. You know, and look at that bike, the V-Rod, kind of like you look at the Livewire. You know, the thing about the Livewire is the engineering that they had to do to make a lot of that come to life. That's going to go to other bikes, and I think that's where the Harley community kind of misses that. The things that they had to do to make that motorcycle gave them ideas that's going to transfer to your touring bikes. It's going to transfer to your Softails, and you're going to see those innovations change those bikes for the better.
Right.
You know, and that's where I think a lot of people come up short on the Livewire, and they don't realize how that grew the mindset of the company, whether the bike's ever successful or not.
Well, I mean, that's going to be the challenge. Let's face it. There's going to be a small segment of the population that will buy that bike, you know, so whether it'll be accepted or not, like I said, they didn't accept the V-Rod, which is just
right. And they held on to that bike for a little while. They did.
What was it? Like 15 years, something like that. Because the first one was 2000. I think 2000 was the first year, or 2001. And that was just the all silver one, like gunmetal gray, which is my favorite one of all of them.
You know, I'm really sad I didn't get an FXDR. I had an opportunity a couple of times. The problem is I got like no room in my garage. You know, I wasn't going to give up one of my bikes because I really love the bikes that I have right this second. We're in a really good place bike-wise.
Yes.
So didn't you say you have a trailer that'll hold 5 bikes?
Yeah,
I've got 5 bikes.
Okay, so you put 5 bikes in the trailer and 5 bikes in the garage, and you've got 10 bikes.
You know what? I love that idea. That's thinking right there. That means I could probably get 10.
Yes, exactly. FXDR, V-Rod, whatever you want.
Slow down at all.
No.
Oh,
I know.
there it is.
Yes.
Miss Nut, you're welcome, by the way.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for thinking out loud right there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a DM from her later.
Right.
Yeah, you're not allowed to encourage me. You know how
he
people...
doesn't need any encouraging anyways, let me just tell you.
Oh, that's great. Anytime I can encourage people to buy more bikes.
Right.
He keeps trying with me. Let's see, so Michael is saying now the Australian scene is often changing. 15 years ago, 9 out of 10 bikes were Japanese. Now 7 out of 10 are Harleys, including my own. This has meant innovation has moved to them. It's great to see. Fat Boys and Dynas have been the staple here for the last few years, where it looks like everyone there rides a street glide. Yeah.
You know,
Michael, I know 3 Fat Boys, thank you.
You know,
he wanted a street glide. We started out. He wanted one.
I never had a bike with a fairing or a windshield until 2.5 years ago. I refused to ride with a windshield. I thought only women needed windshields.
He's gonna say old guys, but now he's an old guy.
Old guys, and yeah.
I'm just gonna say this real quick, but I watched a video today, and she didn't have a windshield.
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
No, that Fat Bob does not have a windshield. It does. I posted. We posted a little video and like a snippet of us getting caught in the rain, and I had a helmet. Thank goodness. But I was not wearing a jacket. I was not wearing rain gear. I did not have my fairing helmet. I have welts from the rain. It was so brutal. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need a windshield. And somebody's like, where's your windscreen? I'm like, what's a windscreen? I don't even know what that is. I was blowing the wind here.
you know you love your street
Screens
lighting.
are for queens. That's right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I am a queen.
Here's the thing, Michael. I am 58 years old, like you're 58. And I don't know where Sonny's at in age. I think he's somewhere close to us.
38.
Oh, then that's me.
38.
That's me.
He's
She's
46.
about to turn 38.
He's 40.
Dude, I'm gonna have a 38-year-old wife. You know how scary that is for a man? That's crazy scary. Anyway, back to being adults.
Right.
No, in the United States, the baggers, but the baggers have become sporty. The baggers have become good handling bikes. Suspension options coming out for them. Harley itself is released a 131 and a 128 upgrade kit for them that is pumping out serious torque and horsepower. And aside from Harley, you have some great manufacturers out there that are just releasing these amazing kits that are just increasing the power of these engines, but at the same time, suspension kits and everything else. There's a guy in Missouri, actually, that he's a small company that's doing suspensions that are, they're proven on the drag strip, and they're phenomenal what he's doing. So the baggers are becoming sportier. They handle better. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I have a comfortable bagger. I got a 19 CVO. It's not as comfortable as you would think for having 20-some-odd thousand miles on it the first year I owned it. Mm-hmm. I've got a Street Glide Special, and it's not set up to be comfortable at all. It's got 135 horsepower, and it's nuts.
Hurts your hand just to ride it, the stinking clutch. Oh, my God.
But it's awesome, and I love it. And then I've got my Breakout. And I still love to get on my Breakout without a helmet.
What year is your Breakout?
It's an 18.
So is that the year before or after they changed to the?
It's the year after they changed the chassis.
The small tank and whatever.
Yeah, so it's got the small tank.
Yeah,
that was my big disappointment.
It's got the small tank. It's not as good.
Dude, it's got that small tank, but then that big old Milwaukee 8 sits up underneath that small tank, and it just looks like a Cobra. You remember the Cobras?
Mm-hmm.
All engine on. It was an engine with 4 wheels attached to it and 2 seats. That to me is a Breakout. It's just an engine with 2 wheels. And I love the small tank, but that new chassis. I was a Dyna guy, and I have a lot of friends from Southern California that are Dyna guys. And they won't get on a new Softail because every friend they have that gets on a new Softail 18 or later trades their Dyna in. That new chassis is badass. It is a great performing chassis, bar none. It's lighter, more rigid. It's got all, it's a great, great, great chassis. I don't care what anybody says. And the Milwaukee 8 engine, the EPA screws with Harley, and the engine had its hiccups coming in, and again trying to comply with Milwaukee 8 and please us. But as of 2020, that engine's bulletproof, and the bottom end of that engine's always been bulletproof. If you ask any performance builder, that engine's bulletproof on the bottom end. It comes from the factory stronger than any engine Harley's ever built.
Well, with anything new, you're going to have your growing pains. I think probably a lot of the innovation coming from Harley is because Indian came along and they're being innovative. I'm not an Indian guy, but I love that there's competition.
I like that there's competition.
Right,
I just I don't see any competition. My problem with Indian is it's kind of like Ford. And I'm sure there's Ford people out there, but it's designed by consensus. They don't have a consistent design culture. When you look at the bike, there's not a single mind process behind the design. There's not a focus. There's things that just don't fit. There are things that as a designer, I just can't tolerate. And that's my big problem with the bike. I don't care what they do performance-wise. I did a video on that. I just can't get past the design. I can't make that bike mine, as much as I want to. Now, if you love your Indian, I want you to love your Indian. That's not my deal here. But for me, I'm so focused on the aesthetics, and it's so centered on Harley's aesthetics that I can't get away from it, and I can't see anything else. I hope you're wrong, Sonny. I hope they don't give a shit about Indian. I really do. I hope they ignore them completely and do their own thing, because I don't see Indian as a competitor. I don't think they're in the same genre. Guys that buy Indians to me want finished motorcycles for the most part. That's why they buy them. They're 30 grand or whatever, but they're kind of like they've got all the little stuff on them that they want. Mm-hmm. And I buy my Harley because it's completely unfinished and it gives me the room to do what I want to do on it. I wouldn't want a finished motorcycle. One of the reasons I really don't like my CVO as much. I love riding it, but
there isn't anything else to do.
There's not a lot to do to it, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's where our conversation earlier really comes in, though, is because we're in a society of people that don't want to do anything to their rides. They want to buy it ready to
Yeah,
go.
that part of
and they want to
society.
mess with it.
I want to focus on the other part of society that like loves the Jeep Wrangler and they,
Right.
they want to lift it and do all the cool stuff to it. To me, that is still a strong audience. And what's interesting is if you go back to thinking about it, like Apple versus Android, the Android platform is a lot more widespread, but commerce comes from the Apple platform because the people that are buying Android don't want to spend any money. They want free apps. They want free this. They want all this other stuff. People who buy Apple expect to pay for what they get. There's a mindset in that, and that is why Apple could be, I think Apple's less than half the market, but they're like 80 to 90% of commerce on mobile devices. And that's because the users, and to me, that's the performance transportation mode, the personalized transportation mode.
We lost them. Internet probably went out.
I hope they know they're gone. You want to text them?
All right.
Hi, guys.
So we
So they're
got-
gone. I'm going to dance or something. Oh, here we come. They're back. They're back.
Lost.
We're
There
back.
we are.
There they are.
So I mean, but that's why I love that personalized or personalizable,
And Michael.
transportation. I think that's an audience. That's where commerce is. So that's why I like it.
What's up, Xavier? His grandson Xavier says hi. I believe it's Xavier. So hi, Xavier.
How you
Oh.
doing, Xavier?
How old's Xavier?
We got Mike on
Is he
here.
riding a motorcycle yet?
Yeah, how old is he?
Customizing your bike is what it's all about. I agree 100%.
So, motorcycle showcase. I don't know if you guys saw our video last week, but we had 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
we
ago,
had
we had
the
Mike.
motorcycle showcase.
Yeah.
He created a website where you go and put your bike on there. So, like a Facebook for motorcycles, and you get to list what you've done to your bike, so other people can look at your bike and go, "Oh, he uses these handlebars and this." You know what I mean? And so
Nice.
it's kind of that place where you can go profile other bikes and go, "I want that for my bike."
Right, those grips, those whatever. So that's cool.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
his
saw this
target
shit, but I
audience
didn't go check out
is-
his website yet.
yeah.
So he's kind of like right down you guys' alley,
He's exactly.
right? Because it's all about what parts they put on their bikes, so other people can find those.
Yeah, I think and making it in a place where you can like see it rather than just get people's opinions on it is nice too.
He's 6.
6.
Yeah.
So Xavier, hey,
Awesome.
sweetie.
He's on a little electric one. Look at
I
that.
love those things.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm jealous. I want a little electric one.
Yeah, I know our nephews
Right
are too
on.
big for them. They wanted them really, really
Yeah, they
bad.
got here. They're like, oh, look, these are for us. I'm like, no, you way too much. Sorry.
They're just the right size for dirt bikes, though.
They are.
They are.
They are. Believe
are.
me, they're all like, oh, we could get these. We're like,
But
oh,
but
they're
but
horses.
but they're nephews.
Exactly. Like, you're
Right.
not- I love you, but.
Hopefully, mom and dad will be, have their issues straightened out at some point in time, and we'll go back to being, I'll go back to being an only child. I miss things about being the only child in the house. Sorry.
Okay, so Michael's got a Facebook group, guys. So Harley Davidson Mods Australia.
Dude,
So
I'll check
so
it out.
check
Yeah.
that out.
That's cool, so it must work like the showcase one.
Yeah, I admin a breakout group because there needed to be. We got a great breakout group. It's worldwide. I think there's 8,200 people on it. It's a great group of guys, or guys and girls. Amazing how many girls around the world ride breakouts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know there is. So Michael, are you on supportbikers.com? And have you heard about it yet? So we put a website together, supportbikers.com. So you got to get on there. Go on as a biker. If you run a business, you've got your group. So if you're just running the Facebook group, underneath your profile, you can put a link to your. And our internet's going crazy. You can put a link to your Facebook group so people can go find it.
Xavier's so excited he ran to get his sweater.
That's hilarious.
We still have a young audience.
I love that. Yes. From 6 to 56.
Yeah, when you guys first hit us up with your idea on your website, man, what a great idea! and it's come together so fast. You guys have grown. I mean, that map has grown fast.
For sure.
Yeah.
And everybody we know that we send the link to, it's just such a great benefit. So
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to you guys. You know, you guys are doing a great job in the biker community, especially the biker business community. We are 100% commerce people. You know, we think commerce, trade, and exchange is what really makes people function together. So, I love what you guys have done. That's been a huge commitment on your part. I don't know that a lot of people know how much goes into that.
Yeah.
I have an idea, so I know that you know I know that was a big project to undertake, and going worldwide is even crazier.
Yeah. That was a coronavirus project that
Literally when the coronavirus hit, and then locked everybody down.
We absolutely love the site. We promote it everywhere we can, and you know, I love hearing the stories of people who connected because they were out of town and they needed a mechanic, or they were out of town and they wanted to go somewhere where bikers were welcome.
Yeah.
You know, where bikes had good parking, and you know, where
Yeah,
they weren't looked at.
On here.
So it's awesome.
Well, and just the other piece to that was, so speaking of commerce, you've got your Walmarts and your Amazons and all that of the world, and they're going to do their business, right?
Right.
But if I can buy a product from you and I know that you have the same passion as I do for motorcycles, and I'm going to.
For sure.
And so that we wanted to make that connection where if that's what you choose to do, here's the person that can do that. I can't tell you how many times a week I get asked, well, who makes seats or who does this, who does that? And it's like, all right, they need a connection. And
you guys have made that. I mean, you guys have made it so easy. Real quick, I just want to say hi to Junior. He is one of our new followers on YouTube.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy? Good to see you on here.
He's got his own too, on the other side of the road. He's doing his own YouTube stuff too. So, hey, Junior, awesome to have you on here. Put it on. And you guys, I mean, it's all about, I mean, we're talking about bikers supporting bikers here. So feel free to put in the comments, you guys, you know, tag yourself and your page, your channels and all that. I mean, that's what it's all about, is getting the name out there for everybody. So helping each other out.
Well, and so that's just it. Supporting bikers comes in so many different ways. Everybody thinks of commerce being the only way. Liking Facebook pages, liking YouTube channels, sharing stuff, that all is support for us, right? Because that's just more people that get to know us, and you may not need anything from us, but your friend or your family or whoever you connected us to may. So that's ultimately, when I say supporting bikers, I don't mean just whipping out your wallet and buying something from me, even though that's great, so don't stop. Still, what I ultimately mean is, how can you support? When you see me, like, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I posted last night, hey guys, I have 100,000 followers on Facebook. You think I could get 200 likes like that? It doesn't go quite like that. But I did post that up last night, and I got, like, what I say, 12 or 13. But, you know, that's support too, guys. Going and looking up their YouTube channel, their Facebook.
Just like Junior following you guys.
And Junior. That's all support for the biker community as well. So
and not only that, it kind of like, it keeps us alive. You know, we are a dying breed. And it's up to us. I mean, we can't just sit here and say we're a dying breed and just accept it. You know, we can't accept that the art of motorcycle riding and the art of cool car driving, you know, we can't accept that all those things are just dying.
No, you have to get out.
We need to get out and promote it. And, you know, we need to teach the young. You know, one of the beautiful things about having a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old here is these kids, they would have never had any passion for cars. Now they've been around the coolest Jeeps because of our clients. They've been around some of the coolest vehicles and the coolest Harley Davidsons. They've ridden for hours. I mean, we've taken them all the way to Rogers, Arkansas and back. Because they've both been on 4 or 5 hour bike rides. And they absolutely love it. There's no doubt in my mind that at least one of them, he's going to be looking for a bike when he's 16 years
He's got
old.
a little road patch on his little flannel.
On
and
his
he had
Dixon flannel.
yeah,
We got to
here we
promote
go.
Dixon flannel.
Yeah.
My boy Danny. I love you, brother. I don't know if you're watching because you don't really need us. You're just a monster now, but we love you.
But the boys were so excited to get up today, and they're like, "Oh, are we going to go to the dealership?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's go to the dealership. I guess so." So
Well,
they love it, and they would have something they would have never experienced
cool.
had not been here. So that's
Wealth of
awesome.
advice and information. I'm glad we could add some value. That's
I think
Yeah.
I think that's another thing. I just thought about this. So when I was a kid, of course, we didn't have cell phones. When I was like riding to town, and we lived like 50 miles from town, I played a game with me and my buddies, and we would like pick vehicles. I mean, as we're going down the road, that's my vehicle. No, that's my vehicle. I mean, literally, that we spent the whole time, selecting vehicles going down the road. But I mean, we just don't have that anymore.
No.
So that's
you don't have the passion for it, and a lot of it is just the guilt. I blame a lot of it on the environmentalist crap that's out there, and people feel guilty for having the internal combustion engines. Never giving ourselves the credit for making these things
So clean,
so efficient that they're actually less polluting when they're running than when they're standing still. I love automobile. I love transportation. Bikes are my number one, and I love being around people who are passionate for what they drive. Jeep guys are awesome. Jeep girls are awesome.
they got a wave just like bikers.
Yeah.
why we have a Jeep.
Yes.
Heavy duty trucks. I wouldn't. My diesel truck is very, very important to me. I feel that the planet's getting too cool, and I know that organic life does better in a warm environment. So I run that sucker a couple hours a day,
Right?
just to balance out all those Priuses I see.
So we
Yeah.
let's
You gotta
share.
go. You gotta go in and share, dear.
Okay, share
All right.
screen.
All right, guys. So we're gonna show you their home screen, so you'll kind of know what you're looking for when you're looking for it. So right there is their.
Just look for this
YouTube.
right here.
There you go. So there's their YouTube channel. You can check out all their cool videos. They've got all kinds of really neat videos on their different bikes. So check that out.
Any of these that you would like to get more attention that you're like, man, that was a good video. Everybody should watch it.
We do videos on our own bikes, and we've done some test rides for the local dealership here. I don't know that there's anyone that stands out. There's a great one that talks a lot about how wonderful I am as a husband. I don't see it on the list, but it's in there somewhere. Where my wife just brags on me for hours and hours. It's a very long video.
Right? That's the one with all the
There's all
viewers
kinds of good
too.
information in there. Any of them are good. Some of them are more technical, where we did kind of installs, and then some are just us jabbering at each other. But that's interesting.
There
too
is some good
sometimes.
information on women who want to ride, women who are interested in riding Harleys.
Oh, good.
Heidi took her motor course about 30 months ago.
It's actually just 2 years. You're stretching it. It's just
Okay.
July of 18. So
Yeah.
it's just over 2 years learning to ride and riding. And I've gone I started on a sporty and all the way up to my street glide. So really, with the right skills and whatnot, you can ride any bike you want.
I'm putting in the time.
Right, putting the time in the saddle, obviously. But I'm a short girl, 5'3", little, and I can get on any bike and ride it. When we do demo days, these guys are like, "You're gonna ride that bike?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Like, yes, I am.
So we do have a lot of stuff on fitting bikes to shorter people.
Yes, we've done a lot of work to make my bikes fit me because I am short. So that is super helpful to a lot of people.
Here they are on Facebook.
So go in and like their Facebook page.
Like I said, guys, all of that support.
Well, we appreciate what you guys have done, and we appreciate you inviting us on.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Thanks
We
so
absolutely
much for
love what you
coming,
guys are
guys.
doing.
And then they're on supportbikers.com. On the map, which I need you guys' map
Michael.
video. Have you guys seen the little videos that we've been doing?
Yeah.
Get on the map.
The get on the map ones?
Yeah, we actually, as part of that video that we just posted, I've got a snippet from that. I just
Or
haven't
you're
cut it
good on the
yet.
map. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So we did one as we were going down the road. We did a little snippet, and I'll get that to you as soon as I can.
Fantastic. Okay.
Awesome. You guys will be the first one moving. Way to break folds, guys.
Should I?
We were hoping, we're like, you know,
With all these creative people, some people are going to get creative doing it.
Yeah.
You know, we
what
just keep
hope.
telling people we're big on creating content. I was talking to a salesman at the local dealership today, and he was asking me, not even a client. And my whole thing is I love to go to places and add value. I figure eventually you'll become my client, or I'm going to get a client somewhere. It's always going to come back. That's just my thing.
Oh, it does.
You know, my thing with people, put the phone up to your face, start telling people who you are, why you do what you do. Much more important than what you do is why you do what you do, why you love what you do, and why you're different because of who you are, your experience, your knowledge, your passion, whatever it is. And you'll find your audience. You know, you don't have to overproduce things. You don't have to get into a studio. You don't even have to edit it. Just put the phone up to your face. We live in an age, when I first got into internet marketing, promoting yourself was hugely expensive.
Yeah.
Today, it's literally the cost of picking up your phone,
You're
turning on
carrying
the
it
camera,
around with
and
you.
started. You just talk. There's
Yeah.
something you got to say that's valuable to someone. There's an audience for whatever you do. I trust.
So you're so right. I mean, day in and day out, you know, our clients for the business, what actually makes us money, our clients are business owners. And you know, they start like their
Thank you for
Facebook.
subscribing.
Yeah, they start their Facebook page, and you know, it's just all about like work stuff. And I'm like, tell me what you're passionate about. What do you love to do? Do you like to run? Do you like to bicycle? Do you like animals? Where's your passion at? Where is this? You know,
The first place I want to meet the guy that
why are
runs
you
the company
doing the
is
work
at his
you're
house.
doing? And that's where people are going to relate to you, and you'll get those people that are following you. And then when they meet you, you have something in common with them, and you know,
it builds relationships you can't even imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the best kind of business.
But we always tell
business
people, we want to meet you at home. We want to meet you at your hobby. We want to see what you take me somewhere that you just. I don't care if it's the horse arena because you ride quarter horses like one of our clients. I don't care. Take me there and let me watch you in that environment, because that's the person I want to bring to your company. Whatever I see when you're doing, that's the person I want your clients to see. That's really who you should be showing people.
Who you are.
People want an authentic, sincere connection these days. You know, we live in a world where things have kind of gone back in time, where we want the local shop owner. He may be in another country, but we want to have that relationship with him. We want to know him that well. We want to know his character. We want to know why he loves what he does, or she loves what she does. And that's what business is today. In my opinion, you know, business is nothing more today than attracting an audience. That's all you got to do when you've got a business.
That's why we show up for all our credit card processing appointments via motorcycle.
I mean, we literally, we go into businesses, and I'm wearing a Harley shirt and, you know, jeans and my skull boots, and, you know, I'm going into a business to set them up with credit card processing. But that's us. I mean, I actually get more, I talk to more people. I'll walk into offices that you can't get past the gatekeeper, and next thing you know, I'm in the back talking Harley.
You know, if you don't have tattoos, I'm not doing business.
This is us.
If you don't
Michael,
have
2 new channels today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you're not inked down, I don't want to do business with you.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're a woman and you're not inked down, I don't want to date you. That's for damn sure. I mean, ink is everything. You know, it's part of your personality.
So what's it? Lab, L-A-B. Michael.
I'm asking me if he's.
No, but I'll look him
Michael,
up.
are you? Have you subscribed to our channel as well?
The Badgers.
The Badgers, you can't miss us.
So, what's Lab? Do you guys follow Lab?
I don't know what Lab is, but I'll do my best to find him.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta find Michael White. I guess I gotta find you on Facebook.
Yeah.
You just subscribed, I'll find you, and we'll become friends, and I'll figure out what Lab is. I'll find you, dude. I don't care.
Lab, I'm trying to think. Loose and.
Don't even.
Yeah, don't go there. Yeah.
Please tell us before.
It's become a whole different show.
Right,
You start going there.
he was the guy who started the conversation about the hot tub, so you know.
Yes.
Don't know.
Karen, you're telling homeboy in NASA, when they fired off the rocket, was sleeved down and all the way up his neck. He broke every taboo on tattoos.
Right.
law-abiding biker. Okay, see, we're sort of that.
Okay.
Oh, law-abiding bikers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but as an anarchist, that law-abiding thing, we get crossed up. I'm a moral-abiding person. I'm a
Right.
principle-abiding person. The law doesn't always match morality. So, yeah, I follow him. He's a good cat.
Yeah, we do too.
In fact,
his name rubs me a little wrong. Law-abiding biker just sounds like it's completely wrong.
There was another one that you just found that I can't remember.
so we just met a company, which I'm super excited about. So they actually, Mom connected with them because she rides a K&M Spider, and she had bought a windshield from them. F4 Customs is the name, and they just moved from Ohio to Punta Gorda, like 15, 20 minutes away from us.
Awesome.
And so I got to meet them. I called them up and I was like, hey, I'm going to come by and see you guys. And so they, I guess Law Abiding Biker had done a video for them, and it was huge, and they loved it. I mean, he did an awesome job with it. So I was like, oh yeah, you know who he is. But
yeah, the guy's really knowledgeable on the infotainment systems. I mean, he's got a lot of knowledge. The first time I saw it, like I said, you know, my epistemology is just a little different than, you know, than that. But yeah, Ryan has, I think his name's Ryan Erlacher. He has great info. Guy's very, very knowledgeable about bikes.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
I think he probably knows the infotainment system better than anybody other than me. If you're watching, dude, homeboy, we'll get together and discuss knowledge on that thing.
You guys can connect.
So I was working for Harley in 2014 when they did the Rushmore package.
Yeah.
So I literally just started for them. So all the new bags came out, the infotainment came out. You talk about funny, they didn't really give us any training on it. So we were sitting on the showroom floor pushing buttons just so we could tell the person that came in, this is how you do this.
Right. Yeah, too many with the new system. Too many of the salesmen have not done that.
They still don't know. Yeah, they still are like, "Oh, do you need a lesson? I hope not, because we don't know."
One of the first things I have to teach them is exactly how Apple CarPlay and now Android Auto work through that system. As a matter of fact, I was told I got to do a video on that by somebody.
Yeah, there was a request for that.
Yeah.
A few things.
Working on a full motorcycle related sleeve. Michael, you're my
Awesome.
freaking hero, dude. You know, I'm too busy inking up my bride right now to get any more myself, but she's a canvas that's just a little more important than mine.
So Karen works, she was talking about them having her cover up, right?
Mhm.
And what's funny is she's at a place where you go get your
Kind of like the DMV.
license, like a DMV would be.
Oh,
Like a tag.
in Ireland.
You know, most private businesses are learning that people showing their personality. First of all, hire a person with a personality that fits your business. Your HR department should be programmed to hire branded employees. People, their personal personality fits into your brand already. You can train somebody how to do a job. You just can't give people personality traits.
There's so people with personality anymore.
And
Literally.
you know what? If you got ink and you still got the personality, you know what? It just doesn't matter anymore. To me,
I don't see it as a huge.
and again, working for DMV, I guess that's the state. So, you know.
Well, it's there. She's in Ireland. She's in Dublin, Ireland.
Okay.
So.
Well, and you know, but that's exactly right. We've talked about hiring people in our business before, and you know, my first question is, do they ride?
Do you ride?
I mean, they have to ride. They have to be able to show
Because
up
you're
on a
not
motorcycle.
going to get along and understand each other. They're
Because
not
that's
gonna
what we do.
instantly
That's
learn.
who we are.
You have to ride, and not only that, you got to know if you're not a designer, you have to be able to recognize design principles. You have to be able to look at a design or look at a piece of artwork or look at something and tell me where that person's mind is. You know, there's for me as a designer, it's very, very important that you have an aesthetic preference. That you're not just, well, it really doesn't. I hate people that you know, well, it looks okay. No, it doesn't look okay. It either is right or it is wrong. You know, I don't care if you think what I think is right is wrong, just so long as you can tell me why you think it's right.
Right? Oh, Ty's here. What's up, Ty?
Ty from Tennessee. Another YouTuber. Put your YouTube channel on there for everybody to see.
Do you guys follow Ty from Tennessee?
We don't. We'll have to.
Yes.
We're taking down all these names so that we can have them.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got a YouTube channel. He's also there's about 70 or 80 YouTubers on Support Bikers. If you guys just look up the YouTubers on Support Bikers, you can find a bunch of them.
Okay.
We'll have to do that.
You know what? We're just gonna have to do that and subscribe to everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what we do.
Help each other out. And we're good at telling everybody about each other. We just get on the bike and ride and be like,
Well,
hey,
YouTube is
help
an
me out.
interesting.
Look at your mom. She's like, thank God I ride now. I
I
don't
don't
lose
lose
my
my
job.
job.
She does work for us, so.
Oh, yeah.
She does work for
Yeah, we don't care if you're related. If you don't fit, you don't fit.
That's right.
That's
That's right.
So good job.
Mom, you
Uh,
crack me up.
I give her a hard enough time about her Can-Am that, I mean, she pretty much gets a pass.
Yeah, for us, you know, we've had employees in the past. Some of them have been great. Some of them, you know, I always hope that they go on to do better things. That's kind of my thing. I want to create entrepreneurs for my employees. So we really like doing things ourselves. We like hands-on and we like involved. We got unique personalities. And
We're super odd people, so it's
Yeah.
really hard to work for us.
And I'll still work, you know, every hour of every day to do what I need to do for, you know, to handle my obligation to my clients. And I never stop thinking about their business. That's the thing. I mean, I'm constantly texting and, you know, do a video. Where are you at? Well, I'm at the house. Do a video. Well, I'm in the toilet. Well, when you get out of the toilet, do a video.
Do a video on the toilet.
You know? No.
Hey,
Now,
that is-
if you're a septic company, maybe.
Oh.
But yeah, maybe not.
So who are you looking for? What kind of clientele are you looking for? Specific kind of industries?
Here's our thing. We're looking for companies that want to disrupt markets. We're looking for somebody who wants to destroy, not necessarily destroy your competition, but lift yourself so far above the competition
That everybody rises.
That everybody
in a sense.
rises.
They all have to kind of climb.
I hear you,
I
but
don't like people who
you
want
gotta there's gotta be specific companies you're like.
Harley Davidson dealerships,
Yes.
small family-owned Harley Davidson dealerships. Harley Davidson dealerships that are having a hard time where they've got part of their, where we've done really well in Harley Davidson, who have got like a really good service department, but they're struggling in sales, motor clothes, and parts.
Okay.
We can bring those other three departments together. You know, Harley Davidson dealerships that have got really good sales departments, but they're struggling everywhere else. And everybody's kind of, you know, you can only put your focus so many places. We're really good at coming in and pulling everything else together so that everybody else gets on board and pulling the rest of your company together.
So if any of you know a Harley dealership, like what he's explaining, that's his clientele. That's who he's looking for. That's one
Accessory manufacturers, Jeep dealerships. Right now, we're really big into Ram heavy-duty trucks simply because I love the design aesthetic there, and I can get along really, really well with the people. And they've got the right mindset in customization and personalization within their brand. Other dealerships don't really have that. GM's not so bad, but they're really focused on pushing accessories and pushing customization and pushing performance as far as they can. And that's where we want to be involved.
So you're helping them with what? Video content, obviously.
We're helping you pull yourself to. Actually, our whole thing is to help you pull yourself together. We won't do your content for you. We'll help coach you through your content, but I can't be your voice. Your audience has to connect with your voice. I can be the coach in the background. I can be the guy telling you to make sure you get your video up. I can be your courage, you know, your pain in the ass so that you have to get the video up. I can be the guy that goes in and looks at your employees and tells you, hey, you know something? This guy might be your star salesman, but he's poison, and that's the reason why your parts in your other department's office. This guy is just, he may sell a lot of cars, but he's poison. You need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know, we see things from the outside perspective a lot of times when we go into a company, and our first thing to know is once we know the why of the owner, once we know why you're in business and why you want to be the baddest mofo in town, we go into your company and we tell you why you're not there and what we can do, the steps we can take to get you there.
Yeah. Well, I know. So Sonny, I don't know if you guys know this, but how he got his nickname was because of the sales manager there. And when you're doing commission, you're commission based only,
Right.
and you're working with somebody for hours one day, and he's got to go home and talk to the wife, or they got to discuss it together, and they come back the next day, and it's your day off, and they don't ask for you.
You don't get paid.
You don't get
Sales is rough
paid.
that way.
Yeah. So the coolest thing he did was everybody has a road name.
Yeah.
And then that way those names stand out.
Well, he
Well,
always
with it-
said, how many
with it, you know,
girls do you know?
Like if you look at Harley Davidson, I don't mean to cut you out. You look at Harley Davidson, it's a brand and it's got its culture.
Right.
Mhm.
Every dealership should have its own sub brand and its own culture. But that
Mhm.
culture should fit into Harley's culture, but it should be somewhat distinguished on its own. Employees, it's the same thing, especially your sales personnel, your service personnel, anybody that is facing your client, motor clothes. I'm telling you what, in Texas, I've met some of the best motor clothes people.
I was gonna say girls. 'Cause
They're
they're mostly girls.
Yeah,
but
and they're phenomenal.
yes. They stand out more than anybody
Yeah.
else. At the
Can you believe one Harley dealership? My girlfriend, she just moved from one dealership to the other because they went from the West Coast to the East Coast. Can you believe when she got there, because she started building her following on Facebook,
Right.
her own Facebook page, she got there and the marketing person or whoever, I don't know who exactly it was, but they had told her she needed to stop posting. I already posted that, already talked about that. Well, that's your
See,
audience.
Totally different
bad
crowd.
marketing.
Totally different crowd. I'd be like, heck
That's
yeah,
the first person
keep
that has to
doing
go.
this.
That's the first person that's got to go.
Yeah. They're
I mean,
just
those people that want to hold on to the reins of something because they don't want to be overshadowed
outshined.
and
Yeah.
outshined, that's the dude you do not want in your dealership.
Yeah. It was, so we took the Badger and I created the logo and put the logo together, and then and then had him, made stickers, and then when he sold bikes, he put the sold, big yellow sold signs they
Right.
had, they put on the bikes, and you write in who it
Sold
was
by the
sold.
Badger.
Yeah, so who sold to and their name, so it's on there because like that's the Hendersons or whoever.
But
like
you know, that's
my
what
bike,
you need. That's what you need in your
sold tag on
dealership,
it.
and that's what we try and create. We try and create where everybody in the dealership is the Sonny of their department, where the person will come in and not talk to anybody but you, not
Yeah.
because you told them to, but because they couldn't possibly. If you're a salesperson and somebody's coming in and talking to you one day, first of all, if they got to go talk to your wife, your marketing department is doing it wrong.
They should be marketing to your
people
wife.
should be coming in ready to wanting to do business with you, almost begging you to do business with you. Please, let me be one of your customers.
Yeah.
And from there, they should know who they want to talk to. And once they get a hold of that person, there should be no doubt that connection. And here's the other thing I try and train people, especially salespeople, because you've seen this, Sonny, where you have a personality clash with a human being, and it can't be helped. Get rid of the personality clash. Know who they fit with. Pass that person off and free yourself up to talk to the person that fits with you.
Right.
And that's something that doesn't go on in enough dealerships, car dealerships and motorcycle dealerships,
No, you
is that
just rather
sharing
you just lose
to where
the
you
person
lose the customer rather than saying, hey, you know something? There's something not meshing here, but Brian over here, he's going to fit you awesome. This dude's going to take care of you. The other thing I used to do in the car business, and I do with my clients, is I train people to talk to their customers about anything but the purchase or the brand or the item or the service for as long as possible. Get to know the person.
Mhm.
I want to know, where do you like fishing? How long have you been here? What's your wife's name? I want to know who your kids are, your grandkids are. At the end of the day, I want that fool calling me to ask me where he gets his dog washed. I want that's always been our thing to try and teach people is you become these people's world because you offer them value.
Yeah.
If they're leaving you, if they're stepping outside that dealership, somewhere they didn't see value. If they're coming back and talking to somebody else, that's not their fault. That's yours.
Yeah.
So one of the things is too many salespeople focus on the sale. They don't focus on the relationship. And sales is all about relationships.
For sure.
And once you have that relationship, you don't have to sell a damn thing.
Well, we're area directors for a networking company called Master Networks.
Mhm.
And so we're continually teaching people how to network, right? I mean, that's what support
Everything
bikers
you
is.
You gotta teach
said is what we do on a
And we're
regular basis.
continually like, guys, if you're running around the room handing out your business card as fast as you can at a networking meeting, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, you're wasting your time.
Right.
I will literally play a game when I go networking. I will ask you every question under the sun, but I won't give you a card till you ask
I
me.
don't have them. We quit making them years
Yeah.
ago.
Right?
No, that's Mrs. Nut. If you can't remember Mrs. Nut and Mr. Nut and look at and find us on Facebook, you're not looking.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
We're pretty,
easy
we're
to find.
pretty, I was gonna say, we're a pretty unique draw, so people don't forget us easily.
Ugly old dude, pretty young woman. Somewhere you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've kept them for an hour and a half.
Wow. That's awesome. Time
We're
flew by.
chatty, sorry.
Cool.
Hey, the kids.
I think that's awesome. You guys
You know
like,
what? We
I
might
think
not
you
have a
guys set the
household on
standard.
this wing
Yeah, we
because
don't know.
it's been
awful
quiet over
quiet
there for a
with the
while.
Yeah.
The boys might be rebuilding their rooms. We don't know.
So he offered me ice cream when we got done. You're gonna do they get ice cream? You guys get
It was a birthday week for Hayden, my nephew. He turned 12 this week, so we've done cupcakes and we've done ice cream and we've had our sugar this week. So they've probably hit their limit. But
I have to tell the other
they'll get
piece to
something
that
here.
story.
Yeah.
So we have been around the house all day. Most of you guys that follow us on Facebook know that I've been taking my bike apart. Clutch basket's broken. It's all apart. I'm just gotta get parts. But anyway, on the flip side of that, I came in, I took a shower, I ate supper, and I said, hey, we've got our thing tonight. She had forgotten about it, so she's looking around to get ready, all dressed up. So she comes out of the bathroom and she's like, well, I'm all dressed up. Are you taking me out? And I was like, all right, ice cream afterwards.
Awfully put together there, Angie. I watched last week, and you guys looked like you rode all day, and you were looking real comfy in your tank top and your sunglasses on your head, and I was like, wow, she really got put together today. Well done.
You did, because
you know what? I thought you just seen us and you figured
like,
you had to step your game up.
Right.
Yep.
That's exactly it. That's it. You guys are right.
Nice.
No, I was telling, who was I telling? I was telling my parents.
Great comment.
So getting on, I told them, I'm like, okay, I was looking rough last week, and I said, it's the way I look right now, I'm looking even rougher. So I'm gonna have to go in and
I'm gonna go put myself together.
Yeah. So awesome. We jumped up with some viewers for a few seconds there. So choose my small family owned Harley shop spends. You just talking to you and being a friend, knowledge base for me. Yeah.
Dude, that's the difference between a salesperson and an evangelist. If you run into a place where people have been trained to be spokesmen for the brand and just sincere and authentic people, that's exactly what you get. They only want you to be happy, and they won't sell you something that won't make you happy.
Yeah.
Bye, Ty from Tennessee.
Bye, Ty from Tennessee.
Have a good one.
Bye, Ty.
Bye, Ty. Bye, Ty.
Bye, Ty.
Bye, Ty.
Saturday night drinking.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
It was a blast. We will have to do this again here in maybe a couple months.
Yeah, we just started doing this a few weeks back, and so we just figured we'll keep building and building and building.
Well, you got her some great ideas for doing, like she wants to do some little snippets that are more consistent in genre and idea on our channel. So you've given her some great ideas.
Fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
Fantastic.
Which I think we should talk and discuss off here. Just
Just to us. I got you.
Yeah, and
yes, girl time for sure.
That would be cool.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Overstepping bounds.
Karen wants ice cream. It's 1:30.
It's 1:30 in the morning for Karen's.
Dude, that's a great time for ice cream, Karen.
Wake the husband up and be like, "Go get me ice cream."
Right.
So awesome! Thank you, everybody that's been watching us tonight.
All day. I've had people watching me all day because I've been working on the bike. So
we appreciate it.
They just hung out with me.
We'll do this
Let
again.
us know when you figure out what happened to that bike, by the way.
Oh, I know. So
Okay.
the clutch basket, the splines are completely shredded.
Okay.
So I've got a cam in it. It's been tuned, and so it's got 90,000 miles on it too.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
It just gave up the ghost. So I'm gonna just put a performance clutch in it because that was all original factory stuff. So for it to last 90,000 miles under
that's amazing.
It did really good. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm just going to. I don't know what brand I'm going with yet. So we'll just have to see, and of course we'll share that with everybody.
All right, man.
You
guys have a good night.
I did. So today I'm having trouble.
Shout out real quick because
There's a tool you use to get the nut off of the clutch back.
Yes.
Well, the tool wouldn't work because those splines were broken. So I had to phone a friend. So I called John Maxwell. You guys know who the Harley tech is, John Maxwell?
Yeah,
So I literally
had the
texted him. I
pleasure of
said,
meeting
"Hey,
with
dude,
Maxwell.
I've turned into one of your ordinary fans, and I have a motorcycle question." and he's like, "It's okay, dude." So I called him up and I said, "How do I get this off?" He's like, "Well, you're gonna have to use an impact." And so I had a little pancake compressor, and I'm like, all right. So I tried it; it didn't work. I've been telling her for a while I needed a new compressor.
Been wanting a
So I have a new compressor now, but I got that nut off.
That's how you get new tools.
Right.
I need it for just this one
Yep.
thing.
I've got
He's gotten a bunch of tools.
almost
that
every
way.
tool I own was needed for one thing.
Yes, we have
Every-
a huge compressor that we
Every
use.
camera, computer, other camera, drone, other camera, motorcycle, other motorcycle. I needed it for a job.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine the content you could make on a new FXDR?
Oh shit.
You know, I've been thinking about that, and I got this trailer.
Yeah, you give him the trailer. I did that. Serious trouble.
Oh Lord.
Oh, gosh.
I want to get rid of a bike so I can get some grums. And I
Yeah,
wanna
too
play
bad.
on-
Drums?
are fun.
Yeah.
Drums are not as fun as bikes.
No, but drums are fun.
She wants, we've got, like, right across the road from us, we
Across
have
the
a bunch of dirt area. So,
All undeveloped area. They a long time ago planned on being residential. You know, the streets are all built, but then in
Yeah.
between are all these paths and stuff where
and
they've
now
been
it's
out
all
there.
it's just been sitting
I'm
there.
like,
So
I
it's
want
all
to go
deserted.
play.
So Jeeps and dirt bikes and all just kind of run wild over
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's like, I really want to do that. So we'll have to do that. But I can't get rid of the spare bike because obviously I need it.
I need it.
Yeah. The
You
drums
do.
just go on top of that. Just
Right.
Yeah.
you
That's
don't
what
need to
I
get rid of
thought.
something to get something new.
Yeah. We
That's an old-fashioned principle.
pulled Joe's bike from the stunt lot in last week into the garage, and he's like, "Look, we can fit some more bikes in here." Seriously.
Yeah, I do. We do need to find a bigger garage. We're in the market right now for a bigger garage.
We
There you
actually
go.
have two. We had two-car garages, and no. No.
We'll work on that.
All right. Well,
I
like
need a bigger
everybody,
garage so that she can get her car in the garage.
Yeah, my car part is that's outside. The
I
bike's
would say cars have roofs on them for a
Right,
reason.
they
They
don't
don't
need
need
I
them in
like
the
to
garage.
keep
Well,
car-
the idea is then I'll get a bike and she won't be able to put her car in there anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
there you go.
yeah.
All right, guys, I'm taking Mama Badger for ice cream.
All right.
Go for
Everybody
ice
have a good
cream.
night.
Yay.
We're gonna make sure our house is still here.
That's right.
See
Bye,
ya.
guys. Have a good
Good
night.
night.